This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today we are the rich elitists, and we have so much money in our bag we don't know what to do with it. So we go to the market and we spend it all on valuable goods and good smelling perfume. Today we're going to take a look at Mercado. Now this is a game for 2 to 4 players, and it's coming out from Kosmos, and in North America Thames and Kosmos. And it is designed by Rudiger Dorn, someone who has a lot of popular games out there, some that have been in the Spiel des Jahres nominees and things like that. So I'm going to show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to pick a color and choose that tile. They'll also get a draw bag with that corresponding player. And all of the players in this game and the tiles are double-sided, one with male and one with female. So here we have this set up for 4 players. There's always going to be 8 tiles out in the market. These 4 are always going to be valuable goods. These 2 will always be enchanting perfumes. And then there's always these 2 market tiles out as well. Over the course of the game, you're going to be spending different types of coins to get specific goods. Like this one, you need 2 red coins and 2 gold coins. This one's 4 of the same type, but they can be any type. 2 of the same type, 4 of the same type. And you'll get a certain amount of points depending on maybe what place you're in or what's on the tile. Sometimes you also get some bonuses as well. Now at the beginning of the game, each player is going to get 5 of each of these different coin types. They're just different colors and they go in your bag. However, the black ones are not worth anything. When you pull those things out, they won't do anything for you. Now on your turn, you could do one of 2 things. Most of the time, you'll be drawing coins from the bag. So you draw 3 coins from the bag, and you place them near your tile here. Now, if you have any black coins, which are counterfeit, they're not worth anything, they go right on your tile. We'll talk about more of these later. Now here I have 2 coins left to spend. Now, you have to spend at least 1 coin. Any coins you don't spend goes back into your bag. This one needs 2 of the same, and I only have 1 and 1. Everyone has a seal. You can spend a seal back to the supply to draw 2 more coins from the bag, and say we go like something like this. You can only spend 1 seal per turn, and then we have this. So we can spend these 2, and when you spend them, you can go something like this. Now this actually needs 2 of the same. As long as they're the same, and these are brown, that's good. Now you'll see that this tile, all the tiles have red, then blue, then yellow, and then green. And that's because as rounds go on and players are placing coins, you can always see who has which coins on there. Now I have these 2 coins left. So for those 2 coins, I'm going to place them here because I'm the red player. And this market tile says you need to have 3 different colored ones in order to get the skull. We'll talk more about this later. And again, if I drew coins, I have to place at least 1, but I don't have to place all the others. I can place them back in my bag if I can't or don't want to. But here, this one is finished because I needed 2 of the same, and I've got that here. So what would happen is, this is the first turn of the game, so this probably wouldn't have been here, but let's just assume that this ended just like this. So these, for the winner, these go back on their tile. They don't go right back in their bag right away. These go back into the players that did not win it. They go back into their bag. Okay? And then here, certain points is going to be given. This is going to give you a certain amount of points depending on what place you're in. If you're in first place, you get 1 point. Second place, 2 points. Third place, 3 points. And fourth place, 4 points. Now here is the scoreboard. We'll talk a lot about this later, but let's say I was the red player. If you're on top at the starting spot, top is always in the lead, so I would have only gone 1 because I was theoretically tied for the lead there. Now you're trying to get your piece to go all the way around, which would trigger the end of the round, the game, and whoever gets towards the end and is the furthest at the end of that round will be the winner, so you're trying to get all the way around. And keep in mind, only the player that has won the sale will get those points. Also, whoever has the most amount of other coins on there will get another seal. As we showed you, this helps you get more coins, but you can only use 1 per round. If they're tied for the second most, both players or all players tied will get a seal. Now once that tile is completed, it will get discarded, and a new card will come out of a draw stack. Now notice, some of them give points, but some of them also give different abilities or different things will happen. We'll go over some of this later. Now on your turn, instead of drawing coins from the bag, you can return all the coins from your tiles to your bag. So you can take all these and put them back. Now keep in mind that these counterfeit coins, they don't do you any good, but they always go back in your bag when you retrieve them, so they'll continue to go throughout the game. Now back to the scoreboard. This is where things get a little more interesting. Let's say I have the red player here and I get a score, a tile of 2. I'd go 1, 2, and because of this is here, I'd go 3 more, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now let's say I was on this and I got 2. I would go 1, 2, and here I could discard one of the counterfeit coins from my bag and get it out of the game. So it's one way to kind of get rid of counterfeits. If you end up here, you get one of these white coins, and these are Joker coins. These go right into your bag. When they come out, they're essentially wild. But if you end up on one of these black ones, then you have to receive one of these, which you put in your bag. And also notice this is where it starts your first game ever, but you can actually start this on any space to keep each game feeling a little bit different. Now these perfumes, they have a question mark. Once you give the right amount of coins, the question mark means you draw one of the good tiles off the top of the stack, and you look at it and you get that many points. This gets discarded, then the one you finished got discarded and a new one will come out. So the ones that have question marks, you're not quite sure how much they'll be. Now let's take a look at these market tiles. This one needs 3 of the same type. Doesn't matter which type as long as they're all the same. Let's say this red player puts this on here on their turn. Now remember, you're only having, you're drawing and placing once and it would go to the next player. But here we do this, and this immediately you could take a white Joker one, which has anything, and you have to place it on another tile that will close a sale, meaning you're finishing it. So I could take this to go here, and now I have 3 difference. This could be anything, and now we get our reward, which is everybody, so you would get 1 of these tokens like this. Let me show you a little bit about these. Now here's some different ones to see what types of things they do. This one would give you 2 points and a seal. This one just 3 points. This one a point, and everyone else has to take a black counterfeit coin into their bag. A point and 2 seals. So when you get these, they're face down. You get to look at them, but then they're secret. And then on your turn, at the beginning of your turn, before you do any action, you can flip one and activate it. And you'll notice both of these actually got the final sale done this time. And you'll notice that these ones all say the other players don't get a seal. So second places don't get seals on those ones. And let's just look at a few others. These get 0 points, but you get 2 of those scrolls, and everybody else, none of them can get a seal. This one, we showed you what the question marks do earlier. This gets you 3 points, and you get to discard 2 of the counterfeit coins away from you. This just gets you 1 of those scrolls. This one gets you points depending on your turn, and they get you 3 of the white Joker style coins. And the tiles just do different variant things like that. And this is going to continue in clockwise order until one player at least reaches or goes past the start spot, and everyone else will get equal amount of turns. And then each player that has a seal will get 1 extra point, and everyone unused scrolls here will get the point shown. Then whoever's the furthest wins. And by the way, when you're doing this extra scoring, none of these activations happen. And whoever is the furthest wins, and if it's tied, the player on the top would win. All right, well, there is Mercado. Now, the things I liked about it, I typically like games where you're drawing things from a bag. I think back in some of the first games I played like that was Thieves, or you're drawing things out. Lots of bag builder games where you're throwing things in and you're getting things out. And this has that feel to it, and I tend to like that feeling where you're drawing things out of the bag, not sure what's gonna come. You kind of know what's in there, but you're not sure, then you can see what's come out, then you can kind of deduce what's left in the bag. So I like that aspect of games, and I enjoyed it in this one. I like that as the game goes on, you're sort of, with the different abilities and things, you're building that bag up and actually slimming it down. So you're trying to build it up with those white jokers that you can use and successfully use once and then they're gone. But you can, use those to help you get some of those goods. But you're also using it to sort of avoid counterfeit things where you're doing different things and getting abilities and going spots on the board and things to get rid of the counterfeit coins because those don't do you any good. So I like how you're sort of, a little bit changing your bag. Now, you're not going to be changing your bag as much as, say, like an Orleans or a something like that. But, there are 2 different things that you can add in or subtract, into the bag. I like that, you're mixing both points and abilities on the different cards you're going for. Now, whether you're going for, the goods or the perfume, the perfume sometimes can be a little bit harder and they give you some random points sometimes. But the other ones, they, some of them might just have like 7 points. Like there's a big goblet that has 7 points and it's, it doesn't give you any abilities. Or one might give you like 3 points or 2 points, but give you some really good things that happen, like some of the seals or some of the, the privilege tokens that really give you a lot of flexibility. So I like how there's sort of different things that you're going for at different times. I like that those seals that you get are sort of a consolation for coming in second, because it is sort of an area control game and someone can basically come in and take the one that you're trying to get, but at least if you're in second place, well, you always get your coins back in your bag, which is cool. That's another good consolation. But the other thing is you get to take those seals, which allow you to pull 2 more coins once on a turn, which is it's a cool thing. It's a cool way to sort of mitigate you losing, and I like that aspect of it. The timing of the scoreboard is probably the most interesting part of this game, and it's the thing that really gives it the twist that makes it stand out from other games, I'd say. Is the board, you can start it from anywhere. It's double-sided, so it has all different things you can do. And just even starting the board at different points changes how the game's going to go. It changes what the different point levels, when do you want them. Sometimes you're like, oh, if I get this 5 point, I can hop over all the ones that would make me take a black counterfeit, and it's going to give me 2 more, and I get to go ahead. Things like that, but it's like, ooh, but I'm really close to winning this one, which wouldn't do that for me. In fact, I'd have to take a counterfeit. But if I don't get this now, someone else is probably going to get it next turn. So you're kind of weighing these things out. So I like that aspect. And when you flip the board over to the B side, it does a lot of things to the other players as well, which is kind of cool. I like those privilege tokens. And again, some of those ones that you're getting have scores, lower scores, but they have the privilege tokens. And those are really good because not only do they sometimes give you certain abilities like more seals or maybe a joker, a coin, but it also allows you to play it when you want on your turn. You can play one of them at the beginning of your turn, and that really does change which things you're going for. In that other example, you're like, oh, I need a 5 to get over those things, but you might be able to use a 1 to get a little bit closer, so now you only have to get a 4. Or you're trying to find the right time to play that, and you're looking at what you have and looking at what tiles you're going for to try to sort of combo up some good things on the board. It's probably the most interesting part of the game for me. So on the negative side, the gold and silver tokens, they're a little hard to discern in even decent light. Sometimes we were getting them sort of mixed up. You had to look really closely at them. Minor quibble there. The game itself, it's bag building, right? Now, you can look and see, hey, I've got 4 of my 5 counterfeit coins out, or 3 of my 5, and I've got a bunch of the other stuff in, and all you need is a turquoise coin, and you've got a bunch in there, and you just pull up, and you get, a counterfeit and 2 other ones, and you're like, really? This shouldn't have happened, And then someone else gets it, from you. Of course, if you're in second, you'll get some of those things we talked about earlier. But it can feel a little bit too lucky for some players if you don't like, even though you can sort of deduce what's in your bag, if you don't like the aspect of luck pulling that out, then this might not be the game for you. This is an area control game. It's 2 to 4 players. I did not see any differences, double checked in the rules for 2-player differences, and there isn't any. And area control just is never as interesting with 2 players. It's like, okay, one player is going to get it, the other player is going to get a seal, and once someone takes a lead in something, you just kind of leave it like, whatever, I'll go somewhere else. Where in the other game, when you have multiple players, people are going for multiple different things, and it just seemed much more interesting. And also in a 4-player game, the other negative is you can pretty easily cycle through some of the good tiles, shuffle them up and bring them up. And it's okay, but I would have rather had more tiles than needed so that you don't see the same thing twice in a specific game. But of course, I'm sure that would have raised the price of the game higher than what it needed to be. So I understand probably why they made that decision. But overall, Rudiger Dorn is, he does these sort of Spiel des Jahres weight games, and this is definitely one of those. I'd say it's a good gateway style game, something that has a different twist with the board, but also the funness of building your bag and pulling things out. If that seems interesting to you, then you want to check out Mercado.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.